We have some beautiful seating for you. Down here in the front, right? Okay. Oh, not the list. Okay. Thank you, Gail, for your cooperation.
How are you?
Okay.
Yeah, finding us here.
There's two on bed. You should.
Okay. Are we- We need one more. Yeah,
Yeah.
Russell's taking that as the first row. That's the first row on the side. It's an expansion of the first row. The couch has been, grandfathered in, so to speak.
Sam's here.
Sam. That's awesome. Okay, we're good to go. All right, welcome everyone. It is our June full board meeting. I'm Valerie Mason, Chair of Community Board 8. To my left is Linda Cormack, one of our secretaries. To her left is Craig Lader, one of our secretaries. Seated in the first row is our second vice chair, Addison Lev, and I can't see Felice at this.
No, she's on vacation.
Oh, she's on vacation. Lucky Felice. Okay, so we'll get started, public session, and, we'll try to finish this as soon as we can. And welcome everyone. We have a full agenda. And the first thing we're gonna do is, in the public session, is we're actually going to go to Connie Chan, who is a representative from City Planning Commission. And she'll be in the neighborhood on Saturday, and so I'll kick it off to her to tell us what's going to be happening.
Thank you so much. Please let me know if you can't hear me and I'll try to speak up. So good evening, everyone. My name is Connie Chan. I'm from the Department of City Planning, and thanks for letting me speak to you for a few minutes about the Manhattan Plan, which is an initiative to take on the housing crisis by adding 100,000 new homes across the borough over the next decade. Since this initiative was announced by the mayor in the beginning of the year, we've heard the question, why are you looking at Manhattan? Didn't we just pass City of Yes? What's going on? And what I will say is that for residents of Manhattan, they have access to the highest concentration of jobs, public transit, which can take you throughout the city. Manhattan is really an engine of opportunity, and it used to be a place where people of all backgrounds could find a home and build a life. But over the last several decades, that possibility has become out of reach for many, as it's become the least accessible borough to live in as housing costs rise and production lags. So we're looking to reverse that trend by unlocking new housing, including income-restricted housing, so that more people of all income levels can experience everything that Manhattan has to offer. At the end of this year, in December of 2025, we'll be publishing a report that contains a set of strategies and ideas that could help us get to 100,000 new homes. And this isn't a top-down approach. It's not an implementation plan for ideas that the city has already decided on. Over the next several months, what we're going to be doing is asking New Yorkers, where in Manhattan should we add more housing? What are the zoning updates that we need to look at? What are policy and regulatory tools that could help us to achieve this goal? What are some kind of creative out-of-the-box ideas that maybe you've seen elsewhere in the country or elsewhere that aren't in New York that we should look at closer? And our goal is really to develop a report that captures what we hear as a result of an ideas generating engagement process that offers a toolkit of possible strategies that could be advanced after the report is published in 2026 and beyond. And so whether the report informs future neighborhood plans or broader policy changes, we want this report to elevate ideas that New Yorkers want to see happen. So in order to reach as many people as possible, we will have a website. It's manhattanplan.nyc, and this will include an online survey that we are going to be trying to get as many people as possible to fill out, to share their experiences and their ideas. In addition to the survey, we'll be speaking directly with folks at local events to share information about the plan and to solicit their ideas. So this Saturday, which is June 21st, we'll be at Carl Schurz Park from 9 a.m. to noon. And so we hope to see you there and many of your neighbors. And I'll pass things back to Valerie.
Thank you so much, Connie. So hopefully many of us can drop by while you're in the car shows. This is great. Thank you. Have a good evening. Okay, we'll go to the rest of the public session. Just let me ask you, if you have a cell phone, can you turn it down or to vibrate? I think that might probably be a good idea just to check it. Thank you. Okay, yeah,
So
right on time.
So up first in person, we're gonna have, if I call your name, just please queue up next to the podium. Roberta Nibby, Alam Mohammed, Shahid Rasul, and Michael Zumblakis and Monica Eichen. Okay, Zumblaskas.
Yep.
My apologies, and you'll have 2 minutes. The timer will be over here where Lindsay will be controlling it. And just tell us your name first, because I called a bunch of people.
I'm Roberta Nipi from Alantico Minayo, and I'm here to present the roadway application. We have a sandwich shop on 60th, 36 East 60th. We opened 3 years ago at this location. We're from Italy. We've been 30 years in Italy now, and we have a location in New York, 30 in Italy. We serve sandwiches. We're open from 8 hours of operation are 8 to 8. We also have a liquor license, beer and wine, but we mostly serve sandwiches. So it would be 90% the sandwiches and 10% alcohol, and also coffees. So we'll have 3 tables and 6 chairs, and no music. We have delivery on Uber Eats, but we have bikes and we are complying with the rules. I think that's all. If you guys have questions, sorry, I'm the first one. It's the first one to do this.
Take a deep breath, it's fine, we don't bite.
And I would be happy to answer to all the questions. And I think that's it.
Okay, thank you very
Of
much.
course, thank you.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you.
Okay, next.
So it doesn't matter if we're in order.
No, just go ahead.
Just go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I come from the Phil Donahue School of Public Speaking. I know some of you might be too young for Phil Donahue, but most of you aren't. My name's Mike Zabluskis. A lot of you might know my name because I've run for office many times, but I'm not running this year. I'm here to speak in favor of the dispensary on 86th Street. I'm gonna turn 65 next month. I'm starting to have medical problems. I have a lot of my friends, some of them have cancer, PSTD, because I'm also a veteran. And this shop is going to be run for a doctor.
Yeah, 2 minutes, you're right.
By a doctor, and I think that's very important. And it's only a couple blocks, and I don't know what's gonna happen to me in the next couple of years. I had a stroke last year, so I'm worried about my health and other people's health. And I don't like the pop-up shops, because I don't trust them, but this dispensary is going to be medically run, which I think is going to be very important, especially for the seniors and veterans, because of cannabis helps cancer, it helps glaucoma and many other diseases. So thank you and have a nice evening.
Thank you very much. Yes. There's. Lindsay, it's on 86.
Great.
the fairway on 80? Yeah, it's the
Fairway, it's the fairway, sorry.
I know, well.
I'm about to fix it.
We have a little technical difficulty, so just, thank you.
Don't stop it. Like while it's started, then reset it.
She'll just get that, yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, please introduce yourself and then you have 2 minutes.
Hi,
Go ahead.
hi, I'm Monica Eichen. I'm actually a native New Yorker. I was raised on 83rd between 2nd and 3rd. My mother was 84, still there, God bless her. And now I live on 86 between First and York. And I raised my two girls who are 17 and 19, there, and they're off to college, thank God. But God is good. So in the interim, I actually, am very supportive of only those candle shops that are actually run by doctors, because I have seen how many people are going into these other ones and they have no idea what they're taking, they have no idea what they're using. I'm really a proponent of like having a medical doctor being on site, because I don't think I know of any that are in the neighborhood. I don't know if you do, but I don't know of any. And I like the fact that it's actually gonna be discreet and not like showing off like, oh, come in here and get this stuff and you don't even know what you're getting. And I know a lot of, I'm 55, so I know a lot of people who are suffering through ailments, and like Michael said about cancer, and I had post-traumatic stress as well. Use it because I'm afraid, but I think if I feel comfortable, I would actually be able to explore it, but I just don't, because I don't trust these other shops. So as a native New Yorker and growing up, here my whole life and being on 86th Street, I would be fine with it as long as there is a doctor in the house. I'm fine with that. And I think it would be a valuable asset. And maybe we can get rid of the other ones that are not doing the job that I think they should be doing, because I think there's a lot of confusion about what you should be taking. Somebody who's reputable, and I'm confident that I did my homework. I like to do my homework. And if I'm gonna have somebody living near me, I wanna make sure for my children, my girls, and anyone else's children, that they can be safe in the neighborhood.
Thank you,
Thank you.
appreciate it. Next up, please. Please tell us your name and where you live.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Sewell. I'm representing primary care group for the Healthy Choice dispensary that would be for 86th Street, 242 East 86th Street. I am a board certified physician, having practiced critical care and also addiction medicine. So, I mean, one of the more important things is that this is not a card license. This is a retail adult use license where there are no external investors or external forces. This would be operated in a very high quality manner. We would have sessions for addiction. In addition to that, we would also have on proper usage and medical use. Obviously, we would have very highly trained staff on site. That would also be, I would be personally training myself. As you know, many of the other operators, they just come outside of nowhere and operate in the community. Many of you may not know, I actually owned a Papaya King there as well. So obviously, you know, when the original building had closed, we were given a very good opportunity on the west side to be able to relocate. But we are dedicated to this neighborhood, and obviously we relocated within half a block, right? And that's a operation which has always had a A-class rating from health department. And we would continue to do the same for this. Obviously, I have strong commitment to this community, and we would do everything for the community to be able to help, to be a responsible citizen in this instance. And obviously, you know, there are so many medical usage for this, and obviously being able to guide people in that scenario and making people feel more comfortable. And also being able to pick up for those which may not be the proper people to use. Obviously, we would have employees properly trained to pick up those with addiction, et cetera.
Thank you very much for attending this evening. Anybody else for the public session?
Yeah,
in the room?
Did Alam Mohammed speak? If not, Nicole, Lucian, Manon, Harrington, and Christopher. Oh, Christopher Lucian. Yeah. If I just called your name, go ahead and queue up. Yeah.
Yes, my name is Mohammed Alam.
Can you move the microphone a little bit towards you?
So my name is Mohammed Alam. I am working in Papaya King around 20 years. And 20 years, this Papaya King, I am now, I start to job around 20 years before. Now I'm in the Papaya King general manager. So because previous owner didn't pay for the rent, So, this owners could be not pay the rent. The case was with the court and eviction. The Mr. Dr. Russell found the out of the business and the say the opportunity to close. Essentially, the Papaya King is on 86 estate from the more than 92 years. So we are the neighborhood which my boss, okay, I am working still now in Papaya King. Now we are across from original location, but still on we are 86 street. The community is our part of our life. Now Dr. Russell got the license and signed the lease or open the dispensary. I support them absolutely. I believe them their leadership and following the rule and regulations for the city. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Hi, next.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Lucien. I'm the proud owner of Listen Lex Dispensary, which is on 86th and Lexington. And I am here today to speak about the proposal of new dispensaries in the area. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. There's a couple of things that I think the board should know about when considering new dispensary locations. Within this proposed location that they are looking to open, there are currently 4 operating dispensaries within a 7-block radius. This would make it the 5th dispensary within the 7-block radius. Furthermore, this is a recreational dispensary. While I respect the doctor's expertise, he is not able to run this as a medical dispensary. It is against Office of Cannabis Management regulations to tout medical benefits through a recreational medical dispensary license. He has to seek medical dispensary licensing if he wants to provide medical benefit and care under his doctor's license. So I just want to make that clear. While we respect his expertise as a doctor, he cannot open a retail dispensary touting medical care under the guidelines of the Office of Cannabis Management. There is a separate medical licensing process that he would have to go through to be evaluated and be able to provide medical cannabis care. Okay, as a licensed dispensary, we have been open since March of 2024. We proudly serve over 10,000 members of the community every month. And we have about a 50 to 70% return rate every day, which means that 50 to 70% of our customers who return or who come in every day are returning customers, which means we are meeting the needs of the neighborhood and we are providing good service. And along with the other 4 open dispensaries, we all work collaboratively to make sure that safe, legal cannabis is available on 86th Street. Thank you.
Thank you. I remember you when you applied for your.
Yes. Yes, and we've been working well together.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Manon or Christopher, and then we'll move to Zoom. Oh, yeah, come on up.
Sure.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
No, not at all.
And then, those on Zoom who are gonna be up next are Evelyn David, Vincent Jenkins, Connie already spoke, and then Yasmina Palumbo and Alicia Bergio. If you heard your name, go to the react icon and press the raise hand button so we can find you easily. Go ahead, thank you.
My name is Christopher Lucien. I'm the co-owner of Listen Lex. You just heard from my wife. I don't know how much she was able to cover. But I wanted to bring up a couple of points that I think are important. That right now, within a 7-block radius of our store, there are 5 cannabis dispensaries. 5. There's no reason for another one. No reason. I think we provide between all of the dispensaries, the best service for this community. I remember when we opened, there was a concern for all the illicit markets that your children were passing by and purchasing cannabis. And I feel we have addressed the safety concerns for your children in the neighborhood. And I don't feel that adding somebody else who's trying just to feed off the money they feel they can make from you is valid enough reason. Also, they're in proximity, there's a proximity protection that the Office of Cannabis Management has. So each dispensary can be within a certain amount of distance. They are violating that with 2 dispensaries. You know, that we felt we needed to come to speak because we felt you were only getting one side of the spectrum. We felt that you weren't getting all of the information needed to make a proper decision in regards to adding another dispensary to the Upper East Side. You know, I just wanted to come and say that, let's do the right thing. You know, we're taking care of your community, our community now. We support you. We appreciate you supporting us. All right, have a good evening.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll move to Zoom and Evelyn, Dave.
This is me, not an
Oh, okay, great.
So, you guys, this guy, I've never seen him in.
Okay, all right, one second,
I've been
one second,
here for
one,
30
I asked you to be
years.
quiet for a second.
Yeah, my
Please be-
name is Manon Isabel Harrington,
And where do you live?
85 and Second.
Okay.
I've been
can
in
you
the
take
area
it
for
down?
30 years.
Okay, can you?
And I work in
There's
real
no
estate,
reason
and
to
this
be
guy,
so,
I
listen,
never
I'm
see
gonna
him
ask
in
you to
the
sit down.
I
I'm gonna
never
ask you
see him
to,
in the
okay, you're gonna have to sit down because you're not listening.
talking here. Okay,
No, you need to calm down.
I am come down. This
Well,
guy, I
it's-
never see him on the street, okay? So,
Wait a
those
second.
people, what happen is they have the store and that's a competition. That's the problem. They're talking, yeah.
Okay,
So,
if you can't be respectful, then you're gonna have to
say
No, you're not. You're not being respectful. I'm gonna give you one more chance, and if you fail, you're gonna have to sit down. Okay?
So,
Let's be quiet. Let's,
I work in real estate for over 30 years. Right now, all those young people, they're like 20, 30 years, they buy drug on the street and they get messed up. That's gonna be illegal. The brother is a doctor. And that's all I have to say. This guy, I never met him. I've been in an area for 30 years. I brought like 6 people that I know for 30 years. And I believe that's very respectful, and his brother is a doctor, and I'm sure it's gonna be legal. 100%. And I live on 85th and Second, and before that is by Gracie Mansion, 87 and East End, before that 80 and First. This is like, I know this person is one of my commercial real estate clients. And, you know, those young kids, they're gonna buy drugs on the street anyway. And those drugs are like they're like chemistry, they're not real. And they're gonna hurt themselves. All right, bye.
thank
All right, Evelyn, David, you are up next. Go ahead and unmute.
Welcome, Evelyn.
We're so happy to have you back.
Hi. Oh, thank you. Hi. I hope everybody's well. Okay, in spite of, yes, I hope everybody's well. I just have a question very fast. Don't want to take up too much time here. Resolution for the 3rd Avenue, the speed limit. Was there a resolution? I think I didn't get through the whole meeting or something last time. When the DOT was on, they were talking about the speed limit. And I know this is not cannabis, but, you know.
There's no resolution, but there are excellent minutes online that you can read and you can pick up where you left off and you'll feel like you were there. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. No, I did hear a majority of it. I'm just hoping the DOT listened. I don't know.
Well, that's always a possibility.
We're gonna find out. Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much for everything, okay? Have a good evening. I'll still be here. All right, thank you. Have a good evening. All right, thanks.
All right, thank you. And now we're gonna move to Vincent K. Jenkins. And I believe, who's our Renee? Vincent, you should have a prompt on your, oh wait, we need your translator. Yes, so go ahead, you have 2 minutes starting now, Vincent, okay? And Renee, if you'll audio translate.
Yes, hello everyone. Hello, thank you to everyone in the community on the Community Board 8. And my name is Mr. Vincent. Jenkins. I'm also known as VJ. I run for Manhattan Borough President, also as a Democrat. So that means I'll be running starting today, this month, and end up voting. So I apologize. I know a lot of people don't know who I am.
Well, wait, 1 second. I'm sorry, but it's inappropriate for him to talk about him running for a political office where we don't allow, I'm gonna ask you to leave right now.
Thank you.
Get up and leave. I'm not kidding, because I'll escort you out myself. Get up and leave.
No, not you, Vincent. Sorry, that's not Vincent. You're fine. Just don't talk about that you're running for office.
Get up and leave. You can't be respectful. Get up and leave. You've been warned now more than 3 times. I'm not kidding. Yes, you have. Get up and leave. If you cannot be respectful of this community, we don't.
I agree. That's all I said.
There's no talking, okay? Somebody was
I'm
talking.
sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
And
I'm not fooling. One more outburst and I will have the police come and get you. I'm very sorry, Mr. Jenkins, but you cannot make a political speech as part of the community board. I appreciate that you're running for something, but we don't let anybody talk about their candidacy for any office.
Okay, I have another issue that I want to
Okay,
speak about.
that would be fine.
I wanted to speak about public safety. I was
Great.
concerned about 86th Street on the east area. I've noticed that there's many lights. There are some disabled people that aren't able to see, especially those that are deaf and blind, because they're not able to see or hear, that they need to set up some more technical hubs. But for those that are visually impaired or those that have reduced vision, and also to add a new walkway for safety. That, and also it's very tough for the disabled people. They're struggling with also the housing as well. The economy, being discriminated against getting housing, but the tech hub and also for paying rent, they're not able to afford it. And also with the measurements of the rooms, the square footage, they're not able to afford it. So most deaf people and disabled people do have SSI. That's the reality, and it's really tough. That's including myself as well. I live on 14th Street, and it is quite expensive. My studio rent is $1,180, which is very high for me to pay. When I'm also, I also partner with the Jewish Board, Family Services for Children's Services, and Tanya Towers, but it's quite pricey, but I know that many people aren't able to afford it. That's the reality.
thank you.
Okay, thank you for your comments, and we'll pass you your comments related to 86th Street.
Thank you. Thank
to
you.
the- Thank you very much.
And then,
Okay, what's next?
Alicia Bergio.
Hi, everyone. I've seen a few of you in the past in regards to Weedish. I represent Weedish as their lawyer. I'm actually here today to kind of bring context to legally where this specific dispensary is in the legal process. So is there an ability for me to share my screen? I think it'd be beneficial if you all saw the Office of Cannabis Management's property protection map, if that's possible.
Sure.
Is that
Very good.
okay?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, let me just do this real quick. Okay, let me pull up my. Okay, so what we're all looking at right now is the proposed location is 242 East 86th Street in Manhattan. As you can see, where the pointer is where the location is. Now, if you guys,
Alicia, can you just wait 1 second, because we can't see it in the room, just one.
oh, I'm
wait.
sorry. Okay, let me know.
That's my fault. I don't know how to make that happen. 10 seconds. And this is not gonna count against you.
Counting this against your time.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Mhm. All right. Oh my goodness.
No pressure.
No, I know. So nobody look at the chat. Nobody look at the participants list. And boom. All right,
Okay.
great.
You're up.
Are we up? Okay. So as you guys can see, I'm going to direct your attention. Do you see that little circle blue dot right there? That's the proposed location at 242 East 86th Street. Why this is important, okay, is as you can see, there are 3 locations right near the dot, but what the most important 2 are actually the 2 within the 1,000-foot circle, okay? So there's this one on 2nd Avenue, which if we click it, we're going to show up. It's 2147 44th LLC. This is a already active license. So pursuant to the law, the cannabis law, no dispensaries are permitted within 1,000 feet of each other. So we have one currently right there. The next is on First, which is called the Hooch, which is also within 1,000 feet. So why this is important? This location, as you can see, is not property protected. If it was property protected, it would have one of these symbols right there showing that it's an active license or a provisional license. And that means that the proposal here is the location hasn't been approved by OCM, which is very important because what will happen is OCM will run this location and will deny it outright because it's within 1,000 feet of 2 dispensaries currently. Now, this applicant will have 2 or 3 options once they're denied by the OCM. One will be what's called a PCA waiver. Now, a PCA waiver is he will have to go up in a litigation dispute against both of these locations, so 2 separate instances of claims, and argue that they have a laundry list of differences between these 2 locations because they are asking for an exception to the 1,000-foot rule. That's a lengthy process in itself, and they're going to really be impacted with the determination by the community board, who is going to need to show that this man is different. And although he's arguing that he is a doctor in this case, that has no bearing on a recreational dispensary. It didn't help him get the license. He's not allowed to say that he has medical benefits in his dispensary versus a medical dispensary. And frankly, no cannabis dispensaries are allowed to provide therapeutic benefits. It's against the FDA because cannabis is a Schedule I substance. So you can't say that it's curing cancer or that it's helping with headaches or that it's helping with sleep. You can't mention any of those things when you're marketing cannabis. And so I'm a little, reluctant to allow that conversation to continue on about him being a doctor and that being a differentiation between these other dispensaries, because that's completely against the law to make those arguments. It's against state law and it's against federal law. But I know my time is running out. I think I'm happy to provide this link.
Okay, I just want to say 2 things.
Sure.
The first is that I think the applicant, when he stood up here, didn't make those claims. It was the other people who were testifying in support of his application. And he said he was a doctor, but he didn't make any claims about his location. It was the other people who were saying that why they thought it was a good idea. The second thing I want to say, though, is I thought the law had been amended to say that the OCM had the discretion to waive the 1,000-foot rule, and that they could waive the 1,000-foot rule, but they couldn't go below 500 feet between locations.
So it's not a blatant waiver. He has to apply for a PCA waiver, and that will be against 2 different locations. And in addition,
I understand what you're saying are his obstacles to getting it granted, but
sure.
I think it could be a little bit disingenuous to say that OCM, that his application is just going to go by the wayside, because that's the law the regulation law, whatever you want to say, has been somewhat changed. So when we first started this process, it was definitely 1,000 feet between the locations. Now it's been changed. So well, I just want to clarify that.
Well, just to give context to that, okay? So when you're applying for a PCA waiver, he would have had to have already submitted this location, which I'm not sure if he has, to the OCM. And the OCM will have already rejected him. And then he would have already had to gone through the approval. And at this part would have said, hey, I'm going through a PCA waiver right now against these 2 different dispensaries. He would have then had to be on a resolution and supported affidavits, which would be provided to Community Board 8, which is an explanation of all the laundry list of claims that he would have to meet. Then he would be going before OCM and before the CCB, which
Okay, but before, I just want to end on this note. We had to approve a lot of locations when they were first submitted, which would have knocked each other out. So we don't have that kind of control in terms of 1,000 feet. We had a lot of people who came to us and we approved, the board approved locations that if they were all granted would have been in violation of the 1,000-foot rule. That is up to the OCM to decide. That is not within our purview to decide. I just want to put that out there. I appreciate what, let's be cognizant of the fact, the attorney for Weidish is saying. She's not here as an independent third-party expert telling us what the law is. So on that note, I think we've heard enough about this for now, and we can debate that when we get up to it. But I just want to make those clarifications. Okay. We're, I think, done with our public session, and we're gonna move right along to, is it the adoption of the agenda now? We're gonna, does somebody want to make a motion to adopt the agenda? Okay, everyone in favor? Next thing, adoption of the minutes.
So
moved.
on the minutes.
Okay,
In the voting chart here, at least in the version I have, it has present and absent, but it has no names.
Oh,
That would.
we will circulate a
I-
new version that has the names.
thank you for that.
So if you count down your alphabetical order, that is your vote, but yeah, we'll put the corrected version up. Thank you for catching that,
I
Chuck.
hate to be so.
Thank you for adding 35 seconds to our meeting, Chuck. We're done. Okay.
I only read that.
Okay, motion to adopt the minutes as they will be corrected. Okay, thank you. Everyone in favor? Okay, super. Okay, Manhattan Borough President's report and then elected official report. So if everybody wants to line up and help us move it along, that would be perfect. We would appreciate that greatly.
Good evening, everyone. This is Saliva from Manhattan Borough President's Office. I hope you're all well. I have a very brief report. We have a few events I'd like to highlight and a bunch of other things. So on June 25th, we're having DOB in your district. If this is something that interests you, you can let me know directly, or you can let Will know and he'll let me know. I will sign you up for that. This will be uptown, so I'm not sure if that's convenient enough. Then on June 26th, we're having our summer constituent services pop-up. It's part of the series, and we're having this one at Hudson Guild from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And we will certainly be supporting the Pride Parade. I'm not sure if Mark will be attending, but if any of you are interested in attending, then of course let me know. Quickly, Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine recently attended a press conference to support legislation from Councilmember Christopher Marte and Councilmember Keith Powers that introduces reforms to address long-standing issues of fraud, aggressive sales tactics, and consumer perception in the ticketing in the industry for tours, ferries, and other attractions. There's a bunch of things this proposed legislation does, but I will not have time to get into it. But if you're interested, you can just email me and I'll let you know. On another note, the BP recently penned an op-ed in AM New York highlighting the success of the zero interest loan program he started with the Hebrew Free Loan Society to help small businesses access affordable capital and grow. You can read it on our website, and if you have any questions, of course, let me know. And lastly, the 2025 Fresh Food for Senior program is returning for its 13th year. In partnership with Councilwoman Bohr and our office, the program offers a bag of locally grown fresh produce for $10 at $15+ value throughout the growing season. And there's a lot more information about this. If you are interested, please let me know. Thank you so much for your time and have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Thank you so much.
And the other ones too.
Hi, Hannah.
Hey, guys.
Glad to see you. All in one piece.
Hi, everyone. I'm Hannah Wainwright with Congressman Jerry Nather's office. Congressman Nather is appalled and concerned about the increasingly aggressive tactics masked DHS and ICE agents are using against citizens and non-citizens alike. We saw it in my office when in a shocking and unacceptable incident, DHS forcibly entered and handcuffed a member of our staff. We're all doing okay, thank God. But the decision to storm a member of Congress's office and detain a staffer shows a blatant disregard for the legal boundaries Democratic norms. And this could happen in the congressional office, and we've seen it with other elected officials, Congresswoman McIver, Senator Padilla, Comptroller Lander, hours of them. It can happen to anyone. Congressman Nether has called for a congressional investigation and to hold a hearing about what happened. He has demanded that President Trump and DHS Secretary Noem immediately stop these dangerous tactics and then the use of expedited removal, which strips immigrants of their basic rights and due process protections granted by our Constitution. Additionally, earlier today, Congressman Nadler with Congressman Dan Goldman were blocked by ICE from inspecting their detention center at 26 Federal Plaza, where migrants are reportedly being forced to sleep on the floor for days at a time. Congress has a duty to conduct oversight, and the American people deserve transparency. Turning abroad to another, we've received many concerned questions about people that have loved ones or people that they know currently in Israel. So especially those who are seeking to leave. So we set up a form on our website that should be up tomorrow. As we get updated information, we'll put it out to the list, but I would just say that make sure that your person is enrolled in the State Department STEP program, which is at step.state.gov/STEP. They will get all the information from the State Department directly to them. So we're going to put out information as they come. Currently, the airspace is closed. We're having, difficulty with any of the aerial evacuations. Finally, our last two mobile constituent services will be on Wednesday, July 16th at the Joss House Performance Arts Center, which is, I think, on East 27th Street. Wednesday, July 23rd at Hudson Gill. Both events are from 3 to 6 p.m. And if you miss our town hall, you can catch it on our YouTube page.
Thank you. Hi. Hi, everybody. My name is Julia Mayenza. I work for the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. I'm glad to be back on the Upper East Side. I was here earlier today at the Isaacs Neighborhood Center, Isaacs Community Day event, that the DA was happy to stop by and see some of the amazing programming and activities they had for the whole neighborhood, which was awesome. I also wanted to briefly mention that the Social Justice Committee, they're meeting on Monday. The Executive Assistant District Attorney and the Chief of our Pathways to Public Safety Division, Tony Margarosian, will be speaking about our Pathways to Public Safety, alternatives to incarceration work, and really how that answers a lot of public safety questions that people have. So I really encourage people to join that conversation. I also briefly wanted to mention two kind of case updates, one of them in the neighborhood of Christian Torres. You may remember this case, I think it was 86th Street, of a man who pushed to the ground a 91-year-old man, causing severe distress, obviously. And he was convicted on every charge that he was indicted on. So assault 1, or assault in the first degree, attempted robbery in the first degree, and assault 2. And I know people have also been following the attack that happened on Randall's Island of a woman who was taking the bike home from work and was just senselessly and horribly attacked. Miguel Giroud has been indicted on attempted murder in the first and second, robbery in the first, and assault in the first. So if you have questions on these cases or other cases or seeking updates on them, I would encourage you to get my information, reach out to me. One great thing about my unit and about my role is that I am able to kind of make sure that people are aware of cases that they've been following or they heard about the news to see what the outcomes are. And it's really important to us that we're responsive to the community that we serve. So thank you so much and have a great rest of your meeting.
Thanks a lot.
And happy college.
Good evening, my name is Carly Neiditz. I'm the District Office Liaison for Assemblymember Rebecca Seawright. June is National Gun Violence Awareness Month, and the Assemblymember was proud to vote for a bill that she co-sponsored called Francesco's Law. It would mandate the safe and secure storage of rifles, shotguns, and other firearms in New York State. She dedicated her vote to a young man named Francesco, the bill's namesake, kind, intelligent, very talented young man who grew up on Long Island. In October of 2021, after enduring relentless bullying for his bisexuality, Francesco took his own life with an unsecured firearm belonging to a family member. He was only 17 years old. In other news, we're pleased to report on the passage of 2 Seawright bills through the legislature. One would expand in-home non-Medicaid services for senior citizens. The other one would require mandatory reporting on the elderly pharmaceutical insurance coverage or EPIC plan. So those are 2 major updates. Additionally, please use our office as a resource, consider it as a resource. We have no-cost house and legal clinics and no-cost notary public services. You can reach us online, call 212-288-4607, email us. where you can visit us on York Avenue between 78th and 79th. And if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. We're closed tomorrow for Juneteenth, but we'll be back on Friday. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Summer. I'm from Senator Serrano's office. So the 2025 legislative session did end last week. So the senator is excited to be back in the district, continuing our constituent services work as always. He was proud to have multiple bills that did pass through the Senate in the last few weeks. Bill 1366 will prohibit specific suicide prevention and mental health services hotlines from being automated. We have Bill 1063, which will require cultural awareness and competence training for medical professionals, and 1465, which will require EBT cards to have security chips that will that will combat SNAP skimming to protect people with those benefits from losing those benefits. We have the State Senate Summer Reading Program. So if you know any children, school age, or you have children, you can submit their reading progress on our Senate page and you will receive a certificate of completion at the end of the summer for any reading progress. And you can always stop by our office. We are also closed tomorrow for Juneteenth, but we'll be back on Friday.
You can thank the state senator for coming to our art fair.
Yes, also he was glad to see all of you guys at the art fair. Very excited.
Audrey.
Hi there, I'm Audrey from Liz Kruger's office, and I gotta say, I was at the art fair too, it was wonderful. Thank you for bringing that to our community, it really was exceptional. I can't wait for the next one. But lots of bills have been flying through Albany these last 2 weeks. Some got approved by the Senate, some by the Assembly, some by both. We hope, I'm gonna highlight 4 bills that we hope the governor will sign. Remember, the governor has until December 31st. To either sign or veto these bills. So the 4 that I want to highlight, Liz is sponsor, co-sponsor of medical aid in dying. This is compassionate choices for end of life, for terminally ill people. And that did pass both houses. New York Heat, this is Liz's signature bill. It didn't pass the Assembly, it did pass the Senate. However, there's a piece of it that got through the Assembly that has to do with gas pipelines. I won't get into the weeds, but what it does do is it helps to eliminate some of our dependence on fossil fuels and also will affect rate changes. Liz will once again work on editing and tweaking the New York Heat bill in hopes that it might pass both houses next year. Housing, 2 really nice pieces of legislation that we hope of. Someone mentioned the cost of housing. One has to do with SCREE and DREE. Right now, the income limit for a household to qualify for SCREE is $50,000. This bill will raise that to $67,000 for a household income. We really hope the governor will sign this bill. It will keep a lot of people in place. And co-ops. In Community Board A, we have a lot of shareholders whose co-ops sit with ground leases beneath them. Liz has sponsored legislation to make sure that there's a cap. A lot of these ground leases get increased double, triple, quadruple. That's it. Have a good. I got my 4.
You got me suspense now. Okay, Carolyn. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Carolyn and I cover CB8 for Councilmember Keith Powers. The Councilmember introduced a bill last month to close a loophole in our discovery laws. Some criminal cases are dismissed when evidence isn't shared within required timeframes, and the proposed bill offers a common sense solution. By giving prosecutors access to a centralized database of NYPD evidence, officials could more quickly meet evidence sharing deadlines, and the council member believes this is a procedural reform that will help defendants get the fair and speedy trials they deserve. Okay, here's a fun one. The council member introduced legislation to legalize and vaccinate our beloved bodega cats. As he puts it, these bodega cats embody the New York spirit, scrappy, neighborly, and anti-rat. So today's council member testified at the Rent Guidelines Board in favor of freezing the rent for rent stabilized tenants. And I always like to leave you with some constituent services wins. Our office helped a local restaurant get the permits they needed for construction to comply with the fire code. A child in our district was placed in a 3K program 5.5 miles from his home, while his siblings attended another school only 1 block away. Now, all the kids will be together at the same neighborhood school. And finally, we asked DSNY to replace several corner trash bins that went missing. Look out for shiny new bins on 80th and Madison, 65th and Park, and a bunch of other corners in the district. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I didn't even need to speak that fast.
You're getting the hang of it. Okay, I guess that's my turn.
This,
All right, well, there's a lot to say. Sorry, I just want to reiterate what a fabulous art show we had, and want to thank our arts committee who worked tirelessly to put together, as well as our staff person, John Kraus, who just went overboard. And when we had to make a call about the rain delay, he was ready and everybody was ready. And it actually turned out really great because Sunday turned out to be so much of a better day all the way around. And the atmosphere was really great. And I also want to thank all of our new board members who came out and were just dove right in and saw the great things that we're doing. And the community really, really loves it. And that's a great thing. And so we'll look forward to the next one on October, what is it, Alita? 4th, October 4th. So put that on your calendars now, and it will not be raining that day. One rain delay a year is enough. Okay, some great news. I'm here to welcome a brand new member of our community. Sebastian Howland Clark and his wife became the proud new parents of a new female resident. I don't want to say her name because I want to protect her privacy till she's able to say she wants to be identified. But we just want to extend a hearty congratulations to Sebastian and his wife. Welcome our newest resident on her way to Lara. I want to give you a little bit, well, I think you'll all agree, a little bit bad news. Kevin is going to be leaving us. And he won't be going that far away. He'll be working for Rebecca C. Wright. And I've already had an arm wrestle with Rebecca. And I think I kind of won the arm wrestling be a part of it. But anyway, you know, she'll have to pay the price for stealing one of our. I haven't quite figured out what the price will be yet, but I told her it's gonna be hefty. So we wish him good luck. He's done an awesome job for us and really set a high bar for whoever takes his place. So, and I'm sure that, you know, we will see him often. So I hope you'll thank him on the way out for all of his good deeds. Okay, the communications committee is hard at work. And we're trying to get a better brand logo going. And part of it too is to make ourselves more visible and approachable at street fair, because I don't want to ask people to volunteer to spend, you know, 5 to 6 hours at our street fair at a booth that people are just going to walk right by because it's not enticing and et cetera. And Robin and Sharon and their committee, along with the arts committee, is working on that. And as part of the branding, we're going to put it out there that if you can come back to us with 3 words that you could use to describe the community board, hopefully all positive, and that we can put on our banner. And then we're gonna have like signs for I mean, this is just part of it, like that we can put up in front of the booth that say, hey, ask me what community board 8 is, or are you interested in trash, e-bikes and public safety? And then maybe people will come over and start talking to us, right, Lindsay?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have some maybe free giveaways for pets in the neighborhood and children and, you know,
Giving away children.
Frisbee. For children, yes. You know, we see what the other booths are doing and we're really not up to snuff. So if you have any ideas about that, please see the communications committee and we'll get going with that. On a more serious note, I just want to say that, and I don't think I mentioned this, I think I sent an email about it. I'm excited to tell you that MSK has reduced the height of their building to below 500 feet. It's going to be at 481 feet. And we have worked, thank you, we have worked really very hard with them, cooperatively with them. And again, I just have to say that that's the kind of relationship that makes and maintains great neighbors. that, they did get their ULIP approval at over 500 feet, but they did make a commitment to this board and this community that they would do everything they could to bring the building below 500 feet, and they've kept their word. So who knows, maybe it can even be a little bit shorter, but, I just think it's a real, feather in our cap, you might say, that that's the kind of process that works. Speaking of the other process, the Lenox Hill Hospital process, we're still waiting to hear word from the City Planning Commission on what they think about the project. And I think it'll be at least another couple of weeks before we know whether that project will move to the next process, part of the process, which would essentially be the city council. And if it does move that way, hopefully there will be some more interaction between the community board, the community, Chief Powers office, and the hospital. So we'll keep you updated on that. Just a couple of other things. Got a notification last week that there were several bills in the city council that affected community boards. Unfortunately, they notified us 2 business days before the hearing, so it didn't really give us much time. So I'm gonna send out something, but essentially there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 bills that are currently in city council. And they cover a whole slew of things like creating term limits for employment for district managers. That has been up in this council for at least, I don't know, 5 different years, 5 to 6 years. Doesn't seem to go anywhere, but it's out there. Another one that requires community boards to email a monthly newsletter and a video conference their meetings and hearings, like we're already doing that. Requires borough presidents to establish and maintain an office to assist community boards by providing legal information, technology, community planning, and human resources. And there's a whole bunch of others. I don't know where they sit. I did reach out to Councilmember Menon and Powers to see where they stood on the bills. They're not in this committee, so in many instances in city council, you really don't take a position on a bill until it comes out of committee. But I will send this around because I think at least the members of the community board will be interested in taking a look at what these pieces of legislation look like. Related to that, I don't know how I should say this, continue to try to get, we did get a reach out call from the speaker's office, the city council speaker's office, to talk to us about the charter commission and where they stood. And in particular, with respect to the proposed charter revisions relating to the changes in the ULIP process. We responded by saying, hey, we're already on top of that. We have a charter commission and we've already passed several resolutions about the ULIP pieces, which was kind of new for them, even though we sent them to them. But anyway, we resent them and they are interested in engaging with us. And again, it's kind of hard to really comment on the proposals that are coming out of the mayor's office because we really haven't seen them in writing, what they fully are yet. I have a feeling that we won't see them until they're actually beyond the point of change, and then the only way to affect them will be an up and down vote in November. There is a bill in front of the governor right now, or will be in front of the governor, which the way this has been playing out is a charter revision commission established by the city council, and there could be another one established by the mayor, and then if the mayor does it, that completely blocks the city council charter revisions, but there's a proposed bill that is in front of the governor that if she signs it, will allow both to be put on the ballot in November. So stay tuned for perhaps even more confusion on this point. And that's all I have to say. I just want to thank everyone for coming here and respecting one another and conducting our business in a civil and respectful manner. Thank you.
I will add on to what she was just saying about the public hearings for the Charter Commission. One of the last, if not the last public hearing is gonna be on Monday, the 23rd. It's in Staten Island, but you can use Zoom to get on there. So if anybody would like to testify at that hearing for the Mayor's Charter Commission, 5 p.m. on Monday, the 23rd. You can reach out to our office if you want a link to it. As Valerie mentioned, Kevin will be leaving us after 2.5 years. We've been really lucky to have him, and wish him all the best. And he's left big shoes to fill, so we'll be working on that. We do have a new summer intern. Her name's Scarlett Healy. She actually lives in the district, and so you'll see her from time to time over the course of the summer. This next July, a month from today, actually, we'll be rebooting the CB8 Zooms franchise, or whatever you want to call it. And it will be a retrospective with Rita Popper. Yes.
Just to add on,
Yeah.
Bill.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
There's also a hearing on July 7th in Harlem.
I think it's July. Yeah, I think that's right. That was in the report. Well, you know what,
Yeah,
we'll
it's in
send
the
out an
report.
email.
Yeah.
I think it's at the Schomburg Center, right?
Yes.
Yes. Is it July 5th or July 7th?
July 7th, yes. Thank you. I'd scrolled right past that. Monday, July 7th, 5 p.m. at the Schomburg Center in Harlem. And I believe that one also has a Zoom component, but yes, it does. So if folks would like to testify to that commission at either of those, thank you. All right, and Kevin, yep, new intern, CB8 Zooms, thank you. Rita Popper will be the next host, or the next guest. The next host will be Chuck Warren, and she'll be talking about her 18 years, 16 years on the board, and her wonderful experiences and the things she learned from it and things we achieved over that time. And then this one's for you mostly. We have a updated version of our district needs survey that is about ready to go out. We have a new flyer that everybody will see in their inboxes, and hopefully our elected officials will help us share it. If you don't know what the district needs statement is, every year in September and October, we hold a public hearing for what we think the community should prioritize in spending, that the city should spend for our community. And so it starts out with asking, what our 3 top pressing issues are. And so the survey will ask you what you think those 3 issues are, what you would like to see built in your neighborhood, what you would like to see improved, parks, public housing, streets, any of those sorts of things. And it really helps us to have your input. And so if you'll help us share it, elected officials, if in your newsletters, if you have a neighborhood association or a co-op board that you can share it with, the more interest and the more feedback we can get, it's so much better. And so we're going to be putting that out probably later this week, if not next week. And I meant to send you an email, but and then just a little preview for Chuck and Craig. We heard a Play Street application for Birch Wathen Linux School a while back. And at our next DOT meeting in July, they will be coming back to present their new application. So if you recall, we heard from a ton of neighbors. We expect to hear from a ton of neighbors again, but they were supposed to have gone and done outreach this time.
We actually gave them contact names of people who had come and told them that it would be in their best interest to reach out to them. They're also dialing back considerably the number of hours that they're going to be asking for. I believe it's more like just 6 hours a week as opposed to
in the area.
And the area involved as well. So.
And that concludes my report. So,
Okay,
thank you.
I did forget one thing. I just want to also point everybody, if you didn't attend and you haven't seen it, the Women and Families meeting that we had this month for the complete success was on a great topic. Gail, do you want to say what it was? I don't want to.
It's on Social Security and retirement plans and funds,
Yeah.
pre-retirement, post-retirement.
And I received kudos about the program from people who were not even remotely near the age of receiving Social Security. And, you can be interested in it as a future thing, all for your parents, for your friends, and it's never too early to learn how the government is gonna help you in retirement. So, anyway, okay, I'm sorry, but
I have to leave, but I just wanted to give you a 3-word catchphrase.
Oh, no, can you leave it with the people outside?
Okay.
Thank you, I appreciate
No
it,
problem.
but we're moving forward and street life, you're up.
She's right there.
Oh, there you
And
are, she scooted
and-
past me.
Abraham, you're able to unmute on Zoom if you want to jump in.
Okay, so this was another meeting where we had over 30 pieces of business. I want to take it in different chunks that I think make sense. The first 9 were unanimous standard liquor license approvals, non-sidewalk, non-roadway interior spaces. They were all unanimously approved. There was 9 of them. Chuck?
I'd like to call the question on all 9.
Second.
Okay, that sounds great to me.
Okay, is anyone going to be opposed to any of them, or can we do this by acclamation? Okay, everyone in favor? Aye. Okay, next.
And if you're on Zoom, you have to have your camera on.
So Craig and I sorted out this because he's gonna have to take all these votes. Last time we spoke, there were a few people that were opposed to all roadway applications, and I wanna double check that list if that's still the case. So we had Camp. Still opposed to all roadway,
Yes.
okay, Hone, is he not here?
No.
Halpern,
Yes.
okay, and Hartzog? You're opposed to all roadway applications?
This is quick, it's prospective. No.
Okay, so we're gonna say no on that one, Mason?
Yes.
Mason is opposed to all roadway, Parshall?
Yeah, you said Dan, are you opposed to all?
Yes. Okay,
Yeah, we
opposed,
got
yes,
you,
that's what you
yeah.
said. And then Wall. Is there anyone else who's opposed to all roadway things? Okay, let's add a go. Okay, so Craig, you have all that. With that,
So just to confirm, it's Darren, Camp, Halpern, Mason, Partial,
Wall,
and Walt.
yeah, okay. So, given that opposition, why don't we take the unanimous sidewalk approvals, of which we have something like 16 of them? Yes, Chuck?
Call the question on those.
So we're gonna take all 16 together.
All the sidewalk ones? Okay, great. Great. So let's go to the roadway ones.
Wait, are we gonna vote on this one? Yeah.
I thought we were gonna acclamation this one, yeah?
Oh, wait, let's do it though.
Can we do that? Okay.
Skipped over it.
Sorry, I skipped you.
That's right.
Do we have a question?
Call the question. Okay, all in favor of? Anybody, any no's? Okay, approved by acclamation, all.
Okay, so Craig, I'll sit with you and we'll make sure it's on the sidewalk. Yeah. So on the roadway ones, we had a number of roadway applications that were unanimously approved in the committee. Of those, it would make sense to me for the people who are ideologically opposed to be counted against those, but we did have some that were non-unanimously approved. Would we like to make a motion to take the unanimously approved roadway applications in the committee and then have the people who are opposed to them, just like as in, no, Marco?
Call the question.
I think, yes, everybody's good with your strategy.
Okay,
So this is B2B, 2W, 2Z.
those are the unanimously approved roadways, except for the people who are getting not in.
That are ideological.
Is there anyone who wants to join the roadway group just for this specific vote?
Well, we can go through the nine.
No, I mean, no, but I'm not up for the non-unanimous one. Somebody may just want to vote no on whatever, all of these, so.
Sure, that's true.
Anybody? Nobody? Okay, so, I'll take it from that. The question's been called that everyone who is not part of the roadway group is voting yes to approve.
The roadkill group.
Well, okay, I like that. Okay, the roadkill group, is voting yes.
Okay,
Now,
thank you, everyone. Now this means we only have 8 pieces of business to go to. Okay.
congratulations. I think you're doing a fabulous job.
We're trying. Okay, so in our non-unanimous approvals, the first one to look at in your packet is for 2H. I'm gonna pull it up.
Can you just say the name?
Yeah, it's PEGREP, doing business as Masseria East. Two W or two A, it makes it a lot easier to follow that line. I'm sorry, two H. Two H, and I said the wrong, yeah, that's wrong, that's because that was one H, I'm sorry. Two H is Bear Noah Corporation doing business as Jacques Brasserie. It was a 7-1 vote. Sasha was the no vote on this. I don't know if you want to speak to it.
It's over 24 seats.
One
That's
H?
my like own little
2H.
personal cutoff. It's 27 seats.
Do you want to recognize Chuck? Or you?
Hold on.
Oh, no, I'm looking at last month's minutes.
Yeah, you're
My
looking at
bad.
last. 2H, it says Bear Noah doing business as Jacques Brasserie, yeah? There's 27 chairs and 8 tables. Sasha was a no.
Call the question.
Sounds good to me. Seconds, great. Should we take the roll?
Or do you-
We're acclamation, all unanimous except for,
This is a non-unanimous approval. Sasha was a no. There might be other no's.
are there any other no's beyond that?
Okay, hearing no other no's, we can do by acclamation. Everybody else is a yes?
Yes.
Okay, great. Next.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the next one is 2K.
And this is the same situation.
I also want to note with this one, since I was the only no, they also have a roadway already approved. So this would be an additional 42 seats on top of, I think, 48 we approved for a roadway. Just to give more context, that's like, I think, almost 100 seats out on the street.
And what's the name of this place?
This is, I don't know how to, I feel stupid when I don't know how to say the words, but it's Tumacacuan Inc. doing business as TEP or TEP. It's a Thai place, TEP.
Okay.
It's on the corner. Thank you for the additional information on that. So that's how those votes went. And I guess as I move through this in the future, let me say the title and then it's okay. And then we'll just do it and then we'll go.
Okay, I'm gonna be a no.
Okay, let's call the roll. There's some notes.
Okay,
Let's do
all right,
that.
let's do it. You're up, Craig.
All right, 1 second, just, okay. Angelos. Yes. Ashby.
Yes.
Point of information,
Yes.
is the prior approval for an enclosed cafe? Because
It was a roadway.
it was also for an unenclosed cafe.
All the roadways are unenclosed.
No, it's
No,
sidewalk.
that's-
This one, this one's for the
Yeah,
sidewalk.
Sasha was saying that
We already approved a roadway for that.
so they've already approved, got it.
Yeah.
Like in the previous one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, continue, please.
Okay, Avisar.
Yes.
Darren.
No.
Guerrero.
Yeah.
Camp.
No.
Chu.
Yeah.
Coleman.
No.
Cormac.
Yes.
Paulson.
Yes.
Fink.
Yes.
Hartsog.
Yes.
Halpern.
No.
Kirshenson.
Yes.
Hussein.
No.
Johnson.
Yes.
Kirkler.
Yes.
Later, yes, Lev.
Yes.
Mason.
No.
McClemens.
Yes.
Meyerson.
Yes.
Marshall.
No.
Phillips.
Yes.
Price.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Rudder.
Yes.
Salcedo.
Yes.
Sanchez.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Seldson.
Yes.
Selm.
No.
Selway.
No.
Slay.
Yes.
Squire.
Yes.
Tamayo.
Yes.
Wald.
Yes.
Warren.
Yes.
Weinberger.
Yes.
All right, did I miss anyone?
Me too. Okay, next.
Yes.
Okay. So next we have 2U, which is Lotteray, if that's how you say that word.
That's very good.
The Kansas, I don't know these things. This was a non-unanimous approval of 9-2. Sasha and Marco were the no votes, and I think this was the bathroom one.
Yeah.
Yes, do you want to speak to that?
Yes,
Quickly, Marco, thank you.
I'm gonna be quick.
Yes.
I'm sorry that I correlate something in this case. Last week, it was a lady that relieved herself of one of the train, I think it's the train L, and was down and died. And I think the major issue right here is the lack of bathrooms in the entire city. In this case, this restaurant, they ask more space, free. And then they should provide at least the bathroom for the patrons. And that's what I said, no. Since they said no for the patrons, I'm gonna say no for the application.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is, yeah, everyone sees this, yes, to you, Monterey. I don't know if someone wants to make a motion or does anyone else want to?
Call the question.
Call the question, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Second. Sounds good.
What's happening there? Okay.
Question.
Okay, I thought I heard somebody's phone talking.
But you, point of information, don't they have to, you're saying they don't have a bathroom at all?
Monterey is they have a bathroom for employees. It is a macaron like cafe. And so they're adding 2 tables and 5 chairs on the outside. And in that addition, they have not decided to open up their employee bathroom to people. They don't have a bathroom to people now as it is.
They have, and they have inside seating and food?
Yes, it's very small place.
Look, it's loud. I mean, there was a diner on the corner of 79th and Mass for 25 years that didn't allow patrons to use their bathroom.
No, I just wondered if by law they had to have it, so they can do it by law.
By law, they don't have to.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, did Addison, did you call?
Yeah, he called the question.
Second, and we pointed to this.
Yeah, take the roll. Okay,
Angelos.
This is a motion to approve. Yes.
To you. Angelos.
Yes.
Ashby.
No.
Avisar.
No.
Darren.
No.
Ferrero.
Yes.
Camp.
No.
Shu.
This is for approval?
This is for approval.
Yes.
Coleman.
Yes.
Cormac.
Yes.
Paulson.
Yes.
Fink.
He stepped down.
I think he stepped out.
Okay. Hartsock.
He stepped out too.
No one wants to talk bathrooms, do they? Help. Yes. Hershenson.
Yes.
Hussein.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Prickler.
Yes.
Later, yes. Left.
Yes.
Mason.
Yes.
McClement.
Yes.
Myerson.
Yes.
Partial.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Price.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Rudder.
Yes.
Salcido.
Yes.
Sanchez.
Yes.
Snyder.
Yes.
Felton.
Yes.
Stone.
No.
Delway.
Yes.
Slade.
Yes.
Squire.
Yes.
Tamayo.
No.
Wald.
Yes.
Warren.
Yeah.
Weinberger.
Yes.
And I know, Fink.
Yes.
Hartsock.
Yes.
Was that a yes vote or yes?
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna abstain.
Okay.
You got that, Craig?
Abstain, okay. And Hartsock?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Although you were a yes in the committee.
I'm sorry, what item are we?
This is Monterey.
I just wanted to make sure when he said yes.
Yes,
it was-
yes, Diane.
Yes.
It was a knowing vote, that's all. Not
Okay.
responding to your name.
Try it in.
All right, next up is 2Y, CKP NYC LLC, doing business as Caviar Cassia at the Mark. This was a 9-1 approval in committee. Sasha was the disapproval. It's 11 tables, 30 chairs, and I think this was a 30 chairs disapproval.
Yeah.
Okay.
Call the question.
Second, sounds good.
Can we do this by acclamation except for Sasha?
And all the roadway people.
Oh, I know the roadway people.
And this is a roadway,
It's a
yeah.
road.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's yes. Yeah. Wait, do you want to join the roadkill?
This for this one.
Okay. I like that one, it's sticking. We're gonna get t-shirts and they're all gonna be that.
Okay, so now let's go, we have,
Here for it.
two unanimous disapprovals, one tabled piece, and then we'll do the cannabis piece after that, and then Marco has something he wants to say. Russell, do you have a,
So for Benayo Antigo, where there's a representative here, if they'll agree to come back to the next street life meeting, since my understanding is it was disapproval because they weren't there. They're willing to agree and there's time to do that, it seems to me that we can just table it until.
is the representative from, you're still here, yeah, great, so this is the first one that Russell's talking about is 2X. And it was a unanimous disapproval because no one from the business came to the meeting. I don't know what the timing looks like on this application.
Deadline is the 18th.
Today.
Yes.
So it seems like that might not be a workable suggestion from Russell, and we might be in the position where we're either approving or disapproving this in the committee of the whole as we are right now.
Yeah, we had waited, or we wanted to wait so that to do it today because it was the last today was the last actionable day, so we need to take an action.
Yeah, so this is the 3 tables, 6 chairs, roadway cafe. Elizabeth.
I'd like to make a substitute motion.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Okay,
Call the question.
okay. So this is a roadway, so the roadway people are not gonna be for it. Is there anyone else who's not gonna be for this? Then Craig, can you fold that into that one?
Can I just make a suggestion?
Yeah.
That we amend the whereas, no one from business has been leading. Sure.
Oh, in the amendment that's a different to approve.
Substitute.
Excellent catch.
Yeah.
Whereas the applicant attended the full board.
We don't even
meeting.
really need to say that.
Yeah, and presented her.
Okay, so Elizabeth agreed to this. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Sam. Yes,
And we-
I agree to the friendly amendment.
Okay.
Super duper. Okay.
Okay, thank you. We have one other unanimous disapproval. This is 2AA. So if you go to that, this is 1647 Second Avenue for doing business as the supply house. This again was no one showed up. My guess is that we reached out to them again.
Yeah, so they said that they will come to the next meeting, but we thought from like the staff side and talking to the co-chairs that it might be good to be on the record as you have voted for a disapproval in the case that they don't show up. Because they actually has to lay over really, and so with the timeline, you don't really have that option. And so what will functionally happen is they will attend the July meeting, should they do so. The July Street Life meeting will vote, should they want to vote to approve it, a vote to approve it, and that's what we will send and vote on at the July full board meeting. And the pre-deadline resolution that we will send out will be a committee resolution that says that that the Street Life Committee voted in favor of it, because they did show up or whatever, Sorry, that was very complicated.
Is there a deadline?
If they don't show up, then we don't have a record on the full board.
We can vote them down.
I think this was, we didn't have a idea that they were gonna lay over until the day.
Yeah.
I think it was like they were already on the agenda, and so I
Is there a
think that's what
deadline?
happened. Their deadline is July 6th.
July full board is before the July full board.
Oh, there's a deadline.
And so I guess the point would be if they didn't show up to that, you would do the exact same thing as you're doing here.
July 6th is Sunday.
Yeah, well, technically it's due on July 6th because it's 40 days after whatever. But we functionally turn it in the next day.
Elizabeth?
I'd like to propose a motion. Which is that the full board defers to the Street Life Committee's resolution at their next meeting. and approves that that resolution be forwarded to the appropriate authorities.
Nice.
We got seconds for that?
No.
I like.
No.
Oh, Valerie's no.
You can do, and then we can say that what you send in, what you agree at that move, that we send in, subject to ratification at the next full board meeting by the full board. That's the way that that is
Oh,
done.
yeah.
Would you agree to that, Elizabeth?
Yeah.
Sure.
If that's okay, yeah,
Okay, so we would have a motion that says,
whatever it is, if you approve it or disapprove it at your next meeting, we'll send that in, and we're just.
so you agree to give us the deference to send it in, but then you will take a position in the full board meeting.
Yeah,
That sounds,
we
that sounds
just
fair.
reserve the right that it's not a full board and can be subject to change.
That sounds fair to me.
So, sorry, I think I can explain a little better. We were only gonna send this resolution if they didn't show up to the July Street Life meeting. Otherwise, we were going to defer to whatever happened in the July meeting. And this resolution you guys would be voting on would never ever be sent.
If they're willing to come back to the July meeting, are they willing to extend their own deadline past July sixth?
Whose own deadline? It's the DOT's.
They willing to,
So it's the DOT's deadline. Like, they don't really get to tell the DOT what the deadline is.
We should just vote.
I actually have a question.
Yeah.
Until applicants are actually approved, are they allowed to operate like sidewalk seating? Because they have seats out there.
Yeah, so if they applied by a certain date, right, Marco? It was like August 2nd or something like that. They applied by a certain date for the program, because there's gonna be an administrative lag to look at all of these. They were gonna be granted to continue to do the same sort of amount of space as what they had during the COVID era. Yeah.
Call the question.
Okay, we're calling the question on this,
On the original committee.
on the idea that Elizabeth said, which is we defer to the committee and then we come back and then everyone weighs in on it.
We voted in the Elizabeth.
An Elizabeth's idea. Chuck doesn't want to call that question. Russell.
The roadway?
well, I have just a substantive comment, I guess, on the original resolution, so I'm not sure if it's really have a substitute yet.
Yeah.
Which is that under the circumstances, if there's a hard DOT deadline, they had that deadline, it was incumbent on them to come to us by that deadline, and I'm uncomfortable with a situation in which a full board vote is potentially gonna be superseded by a committee vote. It seems like the only sort of alternative forever, and is that, it's great that they're willing to come back.
Well, so the language of the resolution says that they didn't show up to any meeting. And that would no longer be true. And so why would we send something that was just factually inaccurate?
We can take that, well, I don't, if we disapprove it, I don't think they should come to the next meeting.
Look, they knew we were having this meeting, they didn't come to that.
They had a hard deadline. I mean, we're trying to be as accommodating as possible, and the situation is just that we're up against a deadline. That's not of our making, and there's nothing we can do about it. So I think my preference would just be to vote on the resolution as it is and disapprove it, because I don't think it's appropriate to have a situation where the full board is gonna be superseded by a committee. I think they had the opportunity to come to us. And as much as we're trying to find a workaround to their screw up.
When's the
kind of is what it
deadline?
is.
July 6th.
July sixth is the deadline, so Russell, if I'm understanding you right, you would be wanting to put a motion, that is, this resolution as it is disapproved, have us vote on that. And the idea is they didn't show up to this meeting, whereas other people who missed that meeting did show up, and so the opportunity to remedy it is not on us to like make it easier for them, they could have come here.
Correct. We're trying to come up with whatever.
It's
Okay.
the first,
Okay,
July 1st, yeah.
yes,
I also want to ask,
That's what I
why
thought,
didn't they
but-
come to this?
Oh, we don't know the answer to that.
they were invited and we don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, just to be clear, there's another streetlight meeting on July 1st.
They will be processed, right? That the committee meeting.
Wait, yeah, go ahead.
They do know the process.
So then they could have come to this
They
one.
could have
I agree with Russell that they could have.
Okay, so is the motion's on the floor to accept the resolution, which is a disapproval of the application.
Call
No.
call the question.
Second to call the question, so this is a motion to disapprove.
And is it understood that we will not send this resolution if they do show up as?
No, this is it.
Okay.
This is it. This is it. That's the motion on the floor, not to give them a third chance, but this is it.
And if I can understand, Will, your perspective is we said you need to come to the next meeting already.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Look, it works. What Will's saying works.
Is disapprove them here, invite them and vote for a.
They show up July first.
We can send another one.
Committee
That's fine with
approves
me.
it, we'll approve it if the others need.
That's fine with me.
Send the other resolution.
Listen, we do this every August when you guys have a meeting and we send in.
That is correct.
So that's why I overrode what Elizabeth was saying, because we do this every August, so.
So then why don't we just do this motion to disapprove as it is now?
So call the question.
Wait, the question is called,
Oh,
so.
Is this 2AA or 2X? I'm very.
2AA.
To AA. All right, so the motion on the floor is to disapprove, so a yes is a no. Is anybody voting to approve? Meaning that you're voting no, or is everyone voting to disapprove? Okay, unanimous disapproval, we're done, next.
Okay, so now we have a tabled piece, which is 2R. And that is BM brand bagels, doing businesses B&B bagels. No representative was in attendance to present this application. I believe someone spoke on behalf of it to say we should table it and invite them to come to July 1. But I do not recall who made the motion to table it, but they had some argument that this business was trying to do this, but couldn't figure it out.
Well, then it's tabled.
And it's tabled and we have nothing to do today?
It's tabled, yeah.
Okay, fine, sounds good.
Okay,
Let's go to cannabis. So
can't wait.
the cannabis piece that we had is 3A. And you all have already heard a little bit about this in the public session. And this was a split approval. It was a 6-4 approval. The people who spoke against, or the people who voted against it were myself, Robin, Todd Stein, and Marco Tamayo. And the arguments were very similar to what you heard earlier. Part of the discussion was that 86th Street has a cannabis dispensary on 86th and Lex, and this would be in between 2nd and 3rd on 86th. And there was opposition to the idea of 86th Street becoming a cannabis forward sports. It is outside of that 1,000-foot radius by about 56 feet. It's 1,056 feet away, but that was the argument that happened at the committee meeting. Yes.
Hi, yeah, I'd like to make a substitute resolution to disapprove of this application.
Second.
Second.
Would anyone like to call a question?
Question.
Slash calling the question on this and we're seconding it, okay. So this is a motion to disapprove this location. Yes vote will be to not have it, a no vote means to approve it.
I think we do the roll call.
I think we do the roll call.
Yes.
And are there whereas clauses that you want to incorporate in this?
Well, let's see if we,
Okay,
I
sure.
mean, we can do it.
Right.
All right. Kendall's.
No.
Ashby,
Yes.
Avatar,
Yes.
Baron,
Yes.
Ferrero,
Sorry, and no is a yes to approve?
This is a motion to disapprove. So
If you want to, okay,
Camp,
Yes.
Chu,
Yes.
Coleman.
Yes.
Format,
yes,
Paulson,
No.
Fink,
Yes.
Hartsoff,
No.
Halpern,
Yes.
Hershenson,
Yes.
Hussein,
Yes.
Johnson, Brickler,
Yes.
later, no, Lev.
He stepped out.
Addison's not his.
no,
Okay, Mason,
yes,
McClement,
Yes.
Myerson,
Yes.
Hartle,
Yes.
Phillips.
I think he's not here.
All right, Price,
Yes.
Rose,
Elizabeth,
Yes.
is that yes to your name or yes to your vote?
Yes.
Okay.
Rudder,
Yes, my first disapproval of a cannabis shop, but I.
Salcido,
No.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Schneider,
No.
Seligson,
Oh, yes.
Selim,
Pass.
Selway,
Yes.
Slay,
No.
Squire,
Yes.
Tamayo,
Yes.
Walt. No. Warren,
Yes.
Weinberger.
No.
All right, let's go to
Two.
The count.
yeah, there are two.
Oh, no, you have to vote independently.
Johnson.
Now,
And Sal,
Yes.
and is there anyone else came back?
No, I think the others have not yet.
Okay, so then the motion passed 26 yes, 11 no. Yeah.
Likely.
Okay, so before we conclude this part, Margot has a piece that he would like to say on considering the roadway and sidewalk cafe applications moving forward.
Yeah, thank you. The issues next, most of the drawings that they presented to us, probably they are a child of second grade, they makes a very good drawings. So it's almost impossible to have a good judgment in what they presented to us. So one of the major concern, apparently looks like a very simple process, but it's not. But I was seeing that they cover the gas bulb that usually you have on the sidewalk or sometimes even the roadway. So if they cover that part, it should have the responsibility of the venue, not our responsibility. And that's what I'm asking to put as an affidavit that the owners will be responsible to verify that these fire safety regulations has to be free for access for the fire department. It could be also fire Siamese connection. It could be the ladder that's coming from the fire escape. They put maybe an awning. So if we put that one, we are protected, at least us, and we give the responsibility to the business. That's what it is. Thank you.
Thanks.
No.
Okay, thank you. Oh, yes.
Do we have anything to do with that? Is that what,
So here's what's happened in the meetings, is at each meeting, the applicants sign an affidavit that says they will apply with all Department of Transportation regulations. In the most recent meeting, Marco, because of his professional background, has brought up that they should also have a stipulation that says that they will adhere to all fire regulations. That's not currently in the affidavit that we make all of our applicants sign, and he wanted to explain the rationale for why we might include it in the future.
so is this for future to include it, not for this?
For this one, we essentially had them agree to stipulations about this, but instead of having every applicant have to have an additional stipulation, the request is that this changes the affidavit. We're not taking a vote on this tonight, that's just Marco wanted to let everyone know that that's where he was standing.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
Once again, a scintillating presentation.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Lindsay. This is a really tough job that Street Life has, and I encourage,
That's a great job.
and she does a fantastic, and so does Abraham, and so does everybody on that committee. And I
Excuse me.
encourage, especially our new members and other members to become a part of Street Life, because honestly, it will make our meetings tonight shorter if we have those discussions in the committees.
Okay, we have one item and it's unanimous in our committee. And this was, application to the Public Design Commission for 1 Street, between Fifth and Madison, to restore the historic granite paving of the existing, driveway. And this is the Metropolitan Club. And I'll just give you the quick history. What happened was, they had this, the granite, driveway was there, and it was constructed in 1894 and used by horse-drawn carriages. But in 1918, they did subway work and they ripped it up. And of course, it only took them 100 and some years to decide they can fix it. And what they're doing though is inside the gates, they're putting this they're fixing the granite, and they want to make this symmetrical outside. And it's a very nice design, and it's not, people aren't going to be driving in there at all. It's just for people to walk around, and we approved it unanimously.
Mark, thank you. If you allow me to have a little bit longer explanation, I was planning to be in your meeting, but it was impossible. And the reason was, I remember very well, that was at the reception after 30 years later, in that place. And I remember very well, a couple of months before she died, I asked her, how Terry Slater should be remembered? And she told me, quote, as a mother and as a preservationist. And I think the children, they did the right thing, and I will support this application with this explanation. Thank you.
Anything else?
Okay, call the question.
Yes. Call the question. Second, okay, is this unanimous? Is anyone gonna vote against this?
Addison,
Okay,
you vote against it?
no, I don't think so, no.
I'm sorry, I had to do that 'cause they
So I
called
think
you.
I think it's
Sorry.
unanimous, and I think we're done.
Okay, super duper. The new record holder, transportation. Okay, who's up next?
Don't get used to it.
Okay, the challenge is yours, David.
I may choose to refer to it. It's actually a very simple application. I'm gonna go through all four very quickly. We have no combinations that we can vote on together. In any event, it's fairly straightforward. The club was built in the early thirties. It sort of got run down the last number of years. Every year they keep improving it. And they have to improve their air conditioning. You can see the symmetrical building, you have 1, 2, 3 asymmetrical air conditioners. Change, if you go to the next one. Change is to put 3 air conditioners, introduce 3 air conditioners symmetrically. It may be hard to see, but it's 2 ends in the middle. And it's also going to be uptight against the balcony. Going to be very hard to see on the next one. It just shows the detail, which shows you that it's flush, will all get painted out. And I think we have approval, but it wasn't unanimous.
Okay, motion? Jane,
We need a
I mean,
motion.
Judy, sorry.
Yeah,
Thank
call the
you.
question.
Yeah, I would like to speak. I was, no,
Oh, I thought it was, I'm sorry, somebody just said.
no, I
okay.
voted against.
Okay, sorry, Marco, I apologize.
Thank you. The issue right here is very simple. There are 3 openings where they claim that there is a ventilation system, which is fine. But that was built a long time ago. Now the technology has been changed, that they say they wanna relocate in the way that they explained. But now the technology is so good that they don't need to make any penetrations. And I consider that an scar that has to be removed. And this is why I oppose. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Technology is not an issue for us. The appropriateness is an issue for us. They need fresh air. They're not putting in a central system. So they're doing
Okay.
the best they can.
Judy,
Horrible question.
okay, anybody besides Marco, you're gonna vote against? I
Yes.
take it, right? Anybody else besides Marco gonna vote against? Okay. Whatever that number is, 1.
Okay,
Okay.
next one.
Number 1.
Number 2 is this is 240 66th Street. What we're looking at. There are 4 windows involved. In the nook, it's 3, and 1 on the west wall. There is no master plan, unfortunately, for this building. So there are precedents for what they want to do. The precedents are the balconies that you see on this floor and this floor. And they want to match, I think it's 8, 9, and then 11. They want to match 8. So let's go to the next. That's not quite. Yes, okay, so this is a blow up. So these are 3 top windows. This is what they're changing. This is what they're changing it to. 9th is similar, but not quite the same. It's not part of the major building. It's a secondary elevation, which you do see across the chapel part of Temple Emmanuel.
Okay.
Next one. And this is the west wall, again, a secondary wall. So you can see the existing and the proposed. Again, the idea is to match on the 11th floor what's on the 8th floor. So this one was an approval. Again, not unanimous. Anybody want to make a motion? Anybody want to speak for or against it desperately? Jane.
Move to approve.
Right.
Okay.
It's on full. We'll call the question.
Call the question, that's it.
Anybody voting no? Alita, okay, anybody else? Okay, again. Whatever the number is and one, I'm gonna call.
Next is,
This is 10 East 82nd Street.
it's 10 East 82nd Street. This is the building as it exists today in the context of the street. Next. This building looked like this once upon a time, namely in 1926. They had built a row of these, it doesn't exist anymore as a row. And this building, you can see how it got changed. It went from a Queen Anne building to sort of a neo-federal building. Then they added a balcony, and that's what you see today. And this is basically what you see today. So, next one. There's a lot of problems with the wall, around and trying to repair the wall, and take the wall down and put up a limestone building. Next. So here you have the existing and the proposed. You can see on the proposed that the windows are larger and also not the same patterning. Let's go to the next. This gives you a better sense of what it's looking like. It is not, it's not a true anything, which is one of the problems about the styling of this building. You know, essentially, they just sort of float in what they call cornices, but it's really more like an applique. Anyway, let's go to the next. This is now the rear. Let's go to the next. It's self-evident. They are extending the rear 8'9", still will have a 30-foot rear yard. Right now, the roof slopes, they're flattening it out. They're not, it's a little bit lower than what the peak of the other roof is. They're putting in a new stair. And the bulkhead, it is not visible from the street.
Yes.
Next.
Okay, and David, this was a unanimous disapproval, right?
Yeah, right.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well,
No, but I mean, you know.
now you can see why it's unanimous.
No. Okay, I was gonna, I knew you were burying the lead, okay. It's ugly.
Let's look at the last one.
It has to be both.
No, I mean, no, I just wanted to, so is anybody going to vote?
Call the question.
Okay, is anyone going to approve this change? You're gonna vote yes?
Yes.
Okay,
Two.
no, okay, we have a few, I guess we'll have to do a roll call. Okay.
Angelos.
This is a crazy building.
Okay, well, we're in the vote now, so, the landmarks committee has unanimous disapproved, but we have
Is a motion to disapprove?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, Angelos.
What we voted on?
This is a disapproval.
Landmarks
Yes,
three.
it's no.
Landmarks three, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
it's no.
Ashby, Avisar,
No.
and
I'm sorry, to disapprove?
this is a motion to disapprove.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yes means disapprove.
Yes.
Okay. Barron,
Yes.
Ferrero,
Yes.
Camp,
Yes.
Chu,
Yes.
Coleman,
Yes.
Cormac, yes. Paulson,
No.
Fink,
Yes.
Hartzog,
Yes.
Halpern,
Yes.
Hershenson,
His camera's off.
Okay.
Hussein,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Sprinkler. Not here.
later.
No.
Webb,
No.
Mason,
Yes.
McClement,
Yes.
Myerson,
His
No.
camera's off.
Yeah.
Marshall,
Yeah.
Phillips is gone, Price,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Rudder,
Rudder, yes.
Salzeo,
His camera's off as well.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yeah.
Seligson,
Yes.
Salem. Not Holly, Selway,
Yes.
Slay,
No.
Squire,
Yes.
Tamayo.
Yes.
Wald, Warren,
Yes.
Weinberger. And then there was a pass from Angelos
Yes.
and Ashby.
Abstain.
And,
Christian.
Brad is on.
Oh, and Hershenson.
Yes.
Okay. So with the 37, or excuse me, with a 27-5, it passes.
Okay. Number 4.
Yeah.
Thanks to all who voted yes. This is a crazy building. It doesn't know whether it's Queen Anne, whether it's neo-federal, or whether it's modern. And I wasn't given the chance to say that. Thankfully, you all saw that.
You're instructing us well.
Okay, the last one is the townhouse bought by the
St. David's.
St. David's School. And it's, just a very lovely brick building.
Could you just speak up? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a very lovely brick building. I think it also dates from the 30s. And what they want to do is they want to put in new windows. So let's go. Well, this shows you some of the older windows. And you can see in the rear, they have this beautiful curved set of windows where the windows themselves are actually curved, not only the masonry. So this has been very delicately done, very beautifully done. And what St. David's wants to do is they want to take out all those windows. The curved windows get flat, and the other windows become tilt and turn windows, which have much fatter frames, and they simply just won't look right for this building. So let's go to the next.
They're really full.
So this is the existing above and then the proposed below. And you can see, if you remember, at those beautiful tall windows, they get interrupted. So what happens with the tilt and turn as it moves forward, it turns out, and it has very heavy frames and very heavy mullions. It's just not right. St. David's has a policy. We have to meet the energy code. Well, sometimes there have to be exceptions to the rules. And quite frankly, they could do energy efficient wood windows that did not have to be tilt and turn, and that would be appropriate. Plus, they could always make a small exception to the rule of having a really good window manufacturer remake the curved windows. They don't have to be. They could be the one little piece of the building that doesn't have double glazing or triple glazing. In any event, we all felt that they were making the wrong decision, that in this particular case, it was really important to try to preserve this building.
Okay, and there was one person who voted.
I'll say one last thing. It may sound strange, but buildings have to have integrity. And there's an integrity to this building. So many of these buildings, they don't maintain their integrity, even if they are landmarks. This one has maintained its integrity. We should see that it stays that way. Yes, Martha.
Hold the question.
Lady Jane, did you want to say
I just
something?
did you emphasize that they're aluminum windows?
Oh, well, the tilt and turn is automatically Thank you.
Okay,
So you're saying the windows aren't energy efficient? Is that what you're
I'm saying the windows that exist are not energy efficient
Okay,
because they date from the 1930s
So
or
you
something.
want the windows that aren't.
And what St. David's has as a policy, they want all their windows to be energy efficient windows. However, we're saying there are exceptions to the rule for that. And sometimes the quality of the building is more important. And there are lots of ways to meet the energy code.
okay.
You said the building has to maintain a certain integrity.
How do you define integrity?
Integrity is the integrity of the design. That's the windows that were designed when the building was designed are typical and appropriate for their period. And if you change it,
This is a
change the
historic
grounds of
building.
the building, you lose the integrity of the building.
It is.
It's a historic district, it's not a building, it's historic, this is not a historic
It's
building.
in the.
This is, it's in the historic district, right?
It's in the.
Whether it's a
extended-
historic district or a historic building doesn't really matter. It's how you're supposed to treat them essentially the same. Now, I'll agree that if it's a historic building, maybe sometimes there is a higher standard. But that doesn't change the fact that when we look at it, we really have to look at it.
Okay.
What we feel is the appropriate standard for the building. Yes.
David, I live on the block and I've walked by that building for decades and it is gorgeous. And it would be so sad to destroy it. And I think Elizabeth made a very good point at our meeting that when it's closed, even though the window will be fatter, at least it'll kind of look the same. But once you open a tilt and turn window, it will never look like the original. So it would be so sad.
And the truth is,
destroy
when you
this
get
building.
closer, when you're close to it and you see those fat aluminum mullions, you're not seeing the same building.
Right.
Okay.
The question was called.
I thought so too.
It's called.
So,
Call the roll.
do we need to call the rolls? I think so. Okay, I don't know, which you guys choose amongst
I got
yourselves.
it.
Okay,
Angela's.
Yeah.
Ashby.
wait,
Yes.
this is a motion to disapprove.
The mo-
This is a motion to disapprove.
Yes, disapprove. That means now. Ashby,
Yes.
Avatar,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Ferrero.
Yes.
Ham,
Yes.
Chu,
Yes.
Coleman,
Yes.
Cormac,
Yes.
Paulson,
No.
Payne,
No.
Parsons,
Yes.
Halpern,
Yes.
Christensen,
Yes.
Hussein,
Abstain.
Johnson,
Yes.
Crickler.
No.
Later, no. Webb,
No.
Mason,
Yes.
McClement.
Yes.
Myerson,
Yes, and I was a yes on the last vote if it's not too late. Thanks.
oh, right. Parkle,
Yes.
Phillips, oh, he's gone. Price.
Yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Rudder,
Yes.
Salcedo, he's no longer.
I'm here. Yes.
Sanchez. Schneider.
Yes.
Seligson,
Yes.
Selim,
Abstain.
Selway,
Abstain.
Slay,
No.
Squire,
Yes.
Tamayo.
Yes.
Walt,
Yes.
Warren,
No.
and Weinberger.
No.
Okay, that was 27 yes, 8 no, 3 abstain.
Okay, thank you very much. The Arts Committee. We're almost at the finish line. No pressure,
Almost at the
Alina.
finish
No
line.
pressure, Alina.
No pressure. So the arts are important, not just for aesthetics, but for mental health, for social engagement, for civic engagement. And as we all know, the federal government has been busy cutting back on funding for pretty much everything, including the arts. So we have a unanimous resolution to ask the federal government to stop unfunding things and to call for maintenance or the continued survival and thrival of the NEA, the NEH, and the library and museum organization that also provides funding to arts and cultural organizations. Chuck?
Oh, question.
Okay, is anybody gonna vote against this? Okay, it's a unanimous approval.
Great.
Done.
Okay, thank you so much, Alina.
You're
A
welcome.
fabulous report.
And please, I really respectfully request that board members and the public, of course, but that board members come to our art show. It was great. We had a Pakistani singer, a pediatrician in the daytime, and a singer the rest of the time. We had a jazz duo that I found in the subway. They were really good, and we had J-Rack come, and they always draw
Oh, yeah,
a
they were
big crowd.
super.
So October 4th, please come. It's really fun. It's not doing me a favor, it's doing yourselves a favor. Lots of stuff to look at and buy.
Thank you
So,
so much. Thank you for all
thank
your
you.
hard work, Alina.
You're welcome.
Okay, Addison, do you have something to
I
say?
do. I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Okay. Okay.
In here.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah, okay, this motion passes, just reminder to everyone, if you are a member of the Democratic Party, please vote, there is an election going on. But it's, I was hired for the budget. No, I heard the budget.